Okay, he stated this.
Highlighted comment M at Michael Lee 6868. 4 Diego, your video might be a joke, but you sound sincere. So, around the 1 o'clock mark, you say that the solar panel is 5 volts, 1 amp. This is only true bright sunlight, or the equivalent bright artificial light. If you supply less light, you will get less than 1 amp from each solar panel. I guess you power banks blink their charging status lights when a little energy is coming in, even if they are discharging faster at the same time. Except for the one that blinks your LED lights. It is not trying very hard. Solar panels are getting better, but they are still only about 20% to almost 25% efficient. So, for 5 volts * 1 amp equals 5 watts. You have to supply 20 watts of light or more. In other words, you are just draining your power banks in an elaborate way. A couple of cheap USB power meters from Amazon would demonstrate this. Or, you could believe what your big power bank is saying around the 16-minute mark. Or, let your basic loop run for
So, what was that? Let your big power bank run for a long time. Okay, so let's answer all these questions. We've been testing this stuff for over 30 years. So, let's not say, hey, let's buy this off of Amazon, which we did already. Okay, the same meters that you're talking about, here's a picture of it. Okay, so we can get rid of that idea. Okay, second of all, the blinking lights was caused because it was stuff or diodes or circuits that prevent you from pass-through charging. This may come from complaints from people who said it damages the batteries. Even though what we noticed on this is that anything high end, they still have the pass-through technologies. So if you go by a EcoFlow, guess what? You can plug it in to the wall socket and still use the energy, Jackery, or any other high-end power supplies do that functions like your cell phone. One of the big main things. Hey, you on 1 bar, you plug it in, it'll fully charge. Okay? Now, one of the things about the power supplies of 1.51 amps, 5 watts, not all of them supply that. That means that your phone does not need the full 1 amp or the full 5 volts in order to run. If so, it would have to do what the old phones do, cut everything off to charge the batteries. We don't have that. Okay? So we're going to show other demonstrations at the end of this to show that these things are possible. Okay, now let's answer this question about the 20% light efficiency, which that's not how light is measured. So everyone needs to know this is very important.
The statement you received involves a couple of points that need clarification. 1. Solar panel efficiency. It's true that solar panels typically convert about 20 to 25% of the sunlight they receive into electricity. So, for instance, if a solar panel receives 100 watts of sunlight, it can generate around 20 to 25 watts of electricity. 2. Light requirements. The idea that you need 20 watts of light to generate 5 watts of electricity is a bit misleading. The power output of a solar panel depends on the intensity of light falling on it, not necessarily the total power of the light source. 3. LED lights. LED lights are quite efficient in converting electrical power into light. A 5-watt LED light, for example, will emit about 5 watts of light. However, the important factor for solar panels is the intensity, lux, of light falling on them, not just the total power output of the light source. To clarify the calculation, solar panels generate electricity based on the intensity of light, measured in lux or watts per square meter, rather than the total wattage of the light source. A 5-watt LED light can provide sufficient light intensity if positioned correctly to generate electricity from a solar panel, depending on the panel's efficiency and the amount of sunlight it receives. In summary, the efficiency of solar panels affects how much electricity they can generate from sunlight, but the total wattage of the light source, like LED lights, isn't directly comparable to the light intensity needed for solar panel operation.
Okay, to try to rush this along, we see that you see 12 volts. The little plus line, 12 volts. Right there. Okay? So we know these takes 12 volts. Now, put this back on the stands and you see that I have my solar cells positioned. Okay? And we want to talk about, is this pass-through charging? No, this is not pass-through charging. Yes. Is it more voltage on the output than the voltage coming in input? But that's not how they're saying it. And they don't realize that they're trying to say that more power is out than they ever put in. No, you're going to put 5 volts in, and due to the gadgets inside this little device, is going to step up or amplify that electricity till you get 12 volts. So, since this can run off of 5 volts, let's see if we first was answer the question. See this, this is a phone charger. Let's plug it in. It says, is this powerful enough to run the lights? And it is. Look at that. And the light indicator right here lets you know that this is actually running or putting power out. If it's blinking, it's charging. Let's see something by unplugging this, and let's take this LED light, turn it on, and we understand. Let's get that in the thing. See the green light? And it's the power intensity. Okay? So if I pull it away, it goes away or fades away. Okay? So depending on how much light I put on there, okay? So it's telling you that the LED lights can charge this device. Okay? Look at that. That's called charging. Okay? Now, that's just an LED light. Okay? So all the questions that I'm just running down the power things is just, it's not true. Okay? That's the reason why I had to hit AI to say, hey, this calls about light intensity. Okay? So let's go in here and see if I can charge this bank and get these lights up here to blink. So we're going to plug it in. And as we get this plugged in here, okay. So now we have light and we have our solar panels positioned. Let's see if we can get this into position here. Okay. So first we want to plug in the first one. Okay. And let's see if I can get any power off of that. It tried to, but this is not blinking. That means that this solar panel, one solar panel, let's move this cord so people don't get confused. This one solar panel does not have enough power to charge this bank. It seems like what he was saying is true. But again, because he didn't research it as far as I did, we're going to do this. And look at that. Look at that. This solar panel is charging and it's 5 volts. Now, this solar panel, this particular bank does not have pass-through charging. So what I'm proving is that it took the two solar cells, double the energy to charge this bank, but only 5 volts is being used. Okay? Now, that's a hefty 5 volts. That means there's different levels of what they call 5 volts, 1 amp. I tested those on the meters, and we'll have to do that in another video, because once you understand exactly how they divide the power up and they boost powers within their circuitry, then you'll start to understand what's actually going on here and how you can manipulate that. Because the purpose of this, let's take it off the 5 volts. The purpose of this is to show you that in phones and other things, they use this right here, this technology, to get to the levels to do what they need to do. Okay? So, let's answer another question. You see the light stop blinking? That's because the light is out. So, let's go back to this power bank. Do this power bank have enough to charge this light? And the answer is going to be no, and there it doesn't. It did worse than the first video that you looked at. Okay? So, let's go to some more power banks so we can thoroughly test this. What about one of these from 5 and below? The answer is no. And one of these, let's see, and it's got a 2 amp on there. That doesn't work. Let's see if I turn it on. Nope. Let's go over to the 2 amp. And no. So, not even at 2 amps. Let's see if that one do. No. So, we understand that each and every one of these are not working. Let's go to a big one. Okay, let's power it on. And we should be able to plug this into the 2 amp. Okay. And look what it says. That's a failure. Let's plug it into the other one. Maybe it's just a fluke. So let's plug it into the other one. Good grief. That's a failure. Okay, what's going on here? This thing has a socket for 100 watts. So it should be able to run this. What's going on? Well, now you understand that I test a lot of different power banks and what's names. That's why I wanted to go. Now, if I plug it into this is not going to work. And you see that it does the same thing. But let's take out the solar. That means it's not going to let you do pass-through charging. So let's see if we plug it back in. And guess what? It runs it. This power bank has enough get up and go power to run these LED lights. So would the guy we suspect want us to take the information in the book that we're selling, give him the answers, and then they claim that they did it? That's happened to us time and time and time again. So there's a solution to this. For you smart people, I mean you geniuses, you already got the answer. For everybody else, you're going to have to buy the book in order to figure out what we figured out. But it answered the questions. Can this right here, if you can find something like another one of these, power the power bank. So let's plug it back in. Now, as we're plugging this back in, let's say this is a mathematical question, okay? This is not some, what do they call it? Perpetual motion gimmick. Because someone said this was snake oil. Okay? It's not that. What is it's a mathematical thing. So there, it's charging. It is charging. Plug it in, it charge. So the whole point is that you got to understand one little thing: mathematics. And if this bank will run this, how many banks can you do to charge up another bank? Because the solar lights do have the power to solar. And remember, we made our own solar panel, if you've seen that video. So the more solars you put on here and the more you can put on here. How many can I put on here? Well, let's see. Let's take this off the stand. And I know the light is bright, but what we want to do is it's coming off the table here. Let me get situated. Okay, so what we were trying to show is this simple little thing. Let's turn this sideways. Look at that. The green light comes on. It means if I put this down like this, that I have 3 panels going into one device. Do you really think that it's not charging? That I'm just wasting energy? Look at the numbers you gave and then look at the numbers here. Count it up and you'll see that this is more inefficient of charging, and I have plenty enough room on this panel to do this again for another. Okay? Do you see the math coming there? So if I can put 2 on this side and charge them, that means I'll have 4 panels. I can get 4 panels on here and the charger, okay? And put another 2 solar panels on here and still have room left. Yes, the whole point is that this would charge. Now, let's take this all away, because the good thing about this is that it has another side. It has 2 sides. It's what we talk about on V over 1. V over 1, which is over unity. That's the mathematical over V over 1 is over unity explained mathematically. So I always have 2 sides. We also call this dimensional folding, or if you don't like that name, origami. Okay? It means that I'm getting 2 areas of light. So that if I can get 4 panels on here and 1 charge controller on one side, and then put it on the other side, I can do the same. If I can get more, I can get the same on the other side. Do the math. If you can't connect the dots of what I'm saying, you're never going to get this. You're just going to keep saying LED lights don't. It's not about the LED lights. It's about the intensity of the light, which the AI told you. And they hate stuff like that because now you're starting to make sense to things and show people how to amplify, which we talked about, and do things that most people can't figure out. That's why I'm selling the book. That's why I'm doing these demonstrations. We found out how to manipulate this in a way, which you've seen a part of it, to get what we want. Most people who are very smart will gonna go, oh, that was easy. I know just what to do. Other people's like, I still don't get it. I just don't get it. But you're not going to get it. I'm sorry. This type of technology, if you can't get it, then let the people who are smart figure it out for you, or participate. The comments it made was very intelligent, very respectful. It deserved a good answer. I hope this complete answers that question and many more questions, because as we start showing you how to make solar battery generators, which we've been doing for over 10 years, okay? That for us is a 20-year technology, but we've put it on the video, and I think 4 years ago, according to them, or whatever. But we've been doing this type of technology for a very long time. So yes, count those. There's the secret right there. That's the secret. That's a hint, clue. Okay? It's the numbers game. The number. If you still don't get it, then wait for the technology to come out. Wait for the book to come out and buy the book. And then what happened is that you're going to go, oh, that was so easy. Yes. We just want you to know that this technology and understanding what over unity and looping is all about, okay? Okay, a toroid is a looping technology, okay? This may have a coil in here, which has wound wire, which is in a loop. The more loops, the bigger the backfeed spike will be. We don't know. It could just have capacitors in here. I'm not going to open this one up, but the whole point is different technologies to achieve this to this. And it's all over the internet. This is nothing new, and it's not fake. So when the guy says, well, it looks like you have a serious question, we just asked it one simple question. Where did you get your numbers from? Because it sounds like you're telling us to do all the testing, and we have in many of our videos. We just sit down and test stuff that looks stupid. And that's the reason why we don't get much videos, because the people who watch our videos, because we are doing boring testing and talking a lot. But the simple fact is that at the end of the testing, we have a functional product that we can put out, and I use it for myself. Okay, so let's take a picture of upcoming videos. Okay, we came down to our isolation board, and as you can see, one of our older models of the same technology that we have it upstairs, and we spent thousands of dollars on this. Okay, but that upcoming video is going to explain how I can take that energy and use what? LED lights to put into this thing and charge that battery down there. We wanted to show that, and we had meters down here to show you the energy being consumed and the energy being put out by this. But you understand that we can now run these by 5 volts. So the ones that we used, let's see if we can find the plug. These plugs right here, let's see if we can get the glare off of there. I don't think we're going to make that, but it's probably going to be fuzzy. But it's I'll read it to you. It's saying that it is 2 amps coming out of this and 12 volts. 2 amps and 12 volts. Okay, to get this to run, and yet you seen that 5 volts was able to run these 12 volt lights. So let's go back up and close out the video. Okay, so in closing, we want to say this is a numbers game, which we did already say, but I put the solar panels on here for you to see. How many solar panels can I actually fit onto this? So if you can see, I can definitely get 3. And there's another room for number 4. But right here, remember, this is a little bit, and it only takes up half there, so we don't get that full effect. But that means I can use a smaller panel, and there is room up here to put in smaller panels. But then again, I can get 4 of these panels. 5, 10, 15, 20. What was the number that the person put up in his statement, in his question? Okay. So then there's a one on the back. Same amount of solar can go on the back. So now we're over 20. We're at 40. It's not looking good for people who do not believe in this technology. All right. You guys got to figure this out. We already did.